Okay, now we're broadcasting. So what that does when I broadcast is it actually records everything that I'm doing on my screen. It records the whole session into YouTube. So you can go back, and then every week after we do the session, I will go back and post that video. So if you're not presenting, I mean, you're welcome to join the critique sessions if you're available. Even if you're not presenting, you're not going to get one of your 8 credits. However, or you can go back and watch the YouTube videos. So the way that I've set this up, everything is in Canvas pretty much. Oh no, you don't need to see my account. So if you go ahead and log in, and you guys, I assume, are pretty familiar with Canvas. If not, I can help you with that. But you should see your list of courses. I'm already logged into the course, and it has this really long bunch of numbers because this is cross-listed with a Leiden section since we have those 2 students from Leiden with us. If you, I should make a link right on the home page. I need to fix that. But if you go to the syllabus, it will explain exactly how the class is set up, and we'll go through that in just a second. And then what I do is I post a schedule of critiques. Since it seems like a good number of you are available at Tuesday at 9 a.m. and our critiques usually don't last more than an hour, we'll plan on doing a critique every Tuesday morning. Therefore, if this time works great for your schedule, great. You can get your 8 critiques in on Tuesday morning just fine. But what I usually do is I do some on Saturday mornings, I do some on Monday evenings. I mean, I mix them up so that people who have difficult schedules can jump in and get those 8 critiques. So what I don't like to do is to plan a million critiques the last 2 weeks in class because nobody showed up for critiques earlier in the semester. So really try to stay on track, and I'll give you some warnings. You know, when we get to the midpoint of the semester, obviously you should have done at least 4 critiques. And I'm telling you, your work is only going to benefit from this. Your goal in this class is to have some really good portfolio pieces, right? I mean, you want to come out of here with some nice pieces to show potential employers. So it behooves you to get as much feedback as possible. Even if you're hearing things you don't really want to hear, you want to get feedback and keep working on those things so you have some nice solid pieces. Okay, and I don't want to break my arm patting myself on the back too hard. However, a former student of mine who's now a web developer at MasterCard, she said that, and I can even show you the email to prove it, she said that the pieces in this class, as well as information architecture, which is taught in the spring, I do it very similarly, a little bit of a different focus.
We take both?
Yeah. Information architecture is about the structure of an interactive system, like how do we plan for it, what usability, more of those types of issues. Mm-hmm. This is more about the front end, about the look and feel and the graphics and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, she said that those pieces from these 2 classes are what helped her get her job, that her employer thought they were really cool, and that, you know, that she was surprised. I was like, that's great. I'm glad. That's my goal. I want you to have really good portfolio pieces. So coders, it's not really about coding. This is a much more visual class. But that combined with your kick-butt coding skills are going to help you get a job. Okay? So I'm just going to run through the syllabus really quickly. So just a quick description of a class. This course explores design issues involved with creating functional interfaces for interactive media, the intricacies of designing the interfaces for ease of use and navigation, intuitive understanding of icons, continuity of layout, ergonomics, and the use of metaphors and known conventions are all studied. Does that sound like Japanese, kind of? But it's all about, like what I said, the front end. How do we design the look and feel for an app or a game or a museum exhibit? And so those are the kinds of things we'll be working on. So these prerequisites, they're somewhat optional. Now that a lot of certificate students are taking this, you may not have those prerequisites. I think the most important thing, INTM 2200 is Visual Design for Interactive, so that's about Photoshop and Illustrator. We are going to be using those tools quite a bit. So if you're a little bit shaky on those skills, you know that you have access to all of the lynda.com videos. So practice, work on your, Photoshop is really important. I love it when interactive students tell me, they're like, well, I'm not really good at Photoshop. And I'm like, you better be. I mean, Photoshop is your bread and butter, man. You better be good at Photoshop. So study up. You've got plenty of resources out there. INTM 3100, some of you are taking it right now, COAP 2000. It's the same class. That's your HTML and CSS. And the reason why I like you to have that class is it sort of informs understanding a little bit about HTML and CSS, helps you understand what the limitations are of the medium. You know, I mean, thinking about screen size and how you code for that, and just kind of having an appreciation for that is going to help you with this class as well. Okay, so the outcomes are to be able to define the process of designing interfaces. If you get that job and somebody says, I want you to design an interface for the new website, and you're like, I don't know where to start. I'm trying to give you a process so you know what to do. I want you to expand your visual and your verbal vocabulary as it relates to interface design and its technology. So when I mean your verbal vocabulary, I want you to be able to talk about what you're seeing in words other than it sucks or it's ugly. Like, what's problematic about it? You know what I mean? And a lot of people can't do this in work situations. Like, I don't know, it just bothers me. And to be able to train your eye and to be able to talk about things where it's like, well, I think maybe what the problem is that there's not enough white space around the logo, so you're losing the branding and you don't know what this is about. Or I'm just trying to give an example of more articulate language to explain what's going on. So if you can identify what the problem is, then you can fix it and make it better. So we're going to be working on our vocabulary, and a lot of that happens through the process of critique. Looking at work, talking about work, using these new words that help describe what exactly you're seeing. Okay, so I want you to make, we don't really do this so much anymore, but making connections between the impact of the interface and everyday culture. I mean, the reality is interface design has changed dramatically over the last 10, 15 years. I mean, when I first started teaching interface design, we didn't have to do anything related to mobile. I mean, it was like, wait, what's that? I mean, I had a little flip-up phone when I was teaching. I actually had this phone that even my friends made. It was like a brick. I mean, that was the culture of interface design. So interface design is changing all the time because our devices change and our expectation and our knowledge, is changing. And the people that we're designing interfaces for change. I mean, my mom has an iPhone. Your moms all probably have iPhones. I mean, I don't know about you, my mom is not the most technically savvy person in the whole world. So our culture for interface design is changing. Okay, students will gain an understanding and awareness of how content, architecture, and design merge to form an interactive experience. Yes, those are all things to consider when we design interfaces. And students will learn how to build interfaces that are functional and usable that work within the confines of current interactive technologies. There are so many tools out there to help you do this. Like, why go into Photoshop and do all this little detail work of like a drop-down? I mean, there are plenty of sites out there. You just Google and then you bring it into your interface design. You might grab it off of a website or what. I mean, there are free resources out there so that you're not reinventing the wheel every time you design an interface. So I'm not talking about like stealing people's graphics. I'm talking about pulling things together to communicate what you're thinking and get a quick idea so that you know that the developers know how to code what you're designing. Okay? So this is how you're, how we're going to assess these learning outcomes. You're going to do a series of hands-on projects where students design interfaces for interactive pieces. The effectiveness of the design will be determined by how well it meets initially stated goals. Visual and verbal vocabulary will be assessed via in-class and online critiques of student work. Both instructor and students will participate in the critiques. Students' understanding of the theory and process of designing interfaces will be assessed via written work and quizzes. Okay, well, so this is how it all works. You have some quizzes, which is 12% of the grade. Your quizzes are basically based on your readings and any videos that I assign you to watch. And lucky for me, this is the third time that I've done this particular class in this particular format, so I got it all set up. Everything is all set up and ready to go. You can jump into the reading tonight and do the first quiz if you want. So quizzes, your quiz score is going to be 12% of your grade. And those quizzes, well, I'll show you in a second. Your critique participation, so it's easy to earn all 10%. All you have to do is show your work 8 times. So if you miss one of the 8, then your grade is lowered by 1.25%. You know, 1/8 of 10%. You see what I mean? And then your 3 projects, you're going to do 3 hands-on projects that are those great portfolio pieces, and each are worth 20%. Your discussions, I have a few online discussions. That's 8% of your grade. And then you have these little visual scavenger hunt assignments. I'll explain what all of these are in just a second. All right. Any questions so far? Jenna, you good?
Yep.
Okay. Like I said, right now, since Tuesday mornings seem to work, I'll have to talk to Jenna offline, but I think we'll just plan on our Tuesday morning critique sessions moving forward for the time being. If you're welcome to come to the classroom, but you can also, it's nice if you can come to the classroom. If not, you're also welcome to join the Google Hangout from wherever you are, okay, and get credit. Because so much work is happening online, you know, we don't generally meet for the full 3 hours. I've put discussions online, I put quizzes online, all of those things that you might do in class normally, they're all online. All right, so a couple more things. Under pages, what pages? How did I find that before? View all pages, there we go. I didn't want this to, I just left this in here for now. But you can see this is last semester's recording of class meetings. And I just posted this on, I left this page, made it available so that you guys could see, you know, if you wanted to look back and see students' work in progress, these are all of the critique sessions that we had last year. So we did about, and I'm looking fabulous in all of them, as you can see. We did, it looks like we did about 20 different critique sessions. So they were happening, oh my gosh, we had a lot of them. So anyway, if you're curious, you know, we're going to do projects in the same order. So if you want to look at one of these critique sessions and see what people did for the previous projects, for the project, you know, they're all available to you. Those are all on YouTube. And I've set up another page, and I will link it to the home page, or I will make it the home page. But I didn't have anything to post so far. But if you, I will make it our home page where it will say, it'll show fall 2016 recording of class meetings. They'll all be there. So today's video will be posted there, and every video going forward, so you can watch. Okay. But how do you get credit for your critiques? Show your work. Yes, you have to show your work. So you can sit through as many critiques as you want. You can watch as many videos from last year as you want. But if you want that 10% of your grade, and actually I should make it higher because and make the discussions less, but whatever. You got to show your work. And the way that we do it is that if you're in the classroom, we take turns on the main station, and you can pull up your files from the cloud or a flash drive or wherever. You share your screen, everyone can see it in the room, and everyone can see it online at the same time. You got it? Okay, so I've set this up in terms of modules. It's easy. I've broken this up into 8 different modules for every 2 weeks of the semester. So you can see here I've got everything posted for the entire semester. So if we look at week 1, 2, you don't have anything really due until the end of week 2. Okay, but try to stay on track with all of that. Each week you're going to have reading. So this is your assigned reading. The PDFs, I better check all the links on these. But the PDFs are all online, so you don't have to buy any books or anything. This is actually, yeah, thank you. So part of this is because like I rolled this out, you know, and I was like scrambling, and I'm like, okay, I didn't have time to have students get the book, so I was just like PDFing stuff. This is actually a really beautiful book. I think I have it in my office upstairs if I didn't loan it out to somebody. So if you want to see the color version, I'm welcome to, I'm happy to show it to you. I think this is all black and white. But anyway, so you have readings. So that's your reading for module week 1, 2. The big project that we're going to start, I'll come to that later. This is a quiz. Okay, so all of the quizzes, I don't believe you have any time limit. And I should make these quizzes so that you have to have them done every 2 weeks. I might change that. So right now, this quiz is due on September 2nd, which is a week from Friday. So I think what I'll do is I'll close it a week from Friday so that it forces you to get those quizzes done and stay on top of the reading every 2 weeks. Okay, so I need to go back and edit that. So you guys can start that right away.
But for now, you said it's due September.
Well, all of the work, each 2-week block, I'm going to make due. Right now, it's set to be due September 2nd. That is a week from Friday. It's set at 9 a.m. I think I'll go change that to like midnight on Friday, so you guys know all of your quizzes are due midnight Friday, the end of the week. Freeze you up for the weekend, and then I'll actually have it close on that Friday. So it'll force you to go in and get it done. Okay. This visual example scavenger hunt. So what these are is that you can't really know. I mean, when you're in the process of designing something, I'm working on a website right now, and it's the e-commerce site, and these questions that I'm being asked, I'm like, well, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. What does Zappos do? What does Amazon do? What is, so you have to be looking at other sites out there in order to inform what you're doing, right? I mean, that's the best way to find out. So the visual scavenger hunts is exactly what it's named. I'm asking you to go find different things and bring back resources to the class. So if you take a look at the first one, the visual example scavenger hunt, find an example that demonstrates the phenomenon listed below. To make your case, submit a screenshot and a well-written 1-paragraph description. It's best if you just put the screenshot into like a Word document or something like that, and then just upload the Word document for your, that means you've turned it in. I'm looking for a responsive website. Show how the home page of the website looks on a computer screen versus a mobile device. How does the look of the interface design change? Why? So I'm asking, like, obviously a mobile device is a lot smaller than a big screen, right? So what choices did they make in terms of what they decide to show you on that small screen versus the big screen? What did they omit? Why do you think they omitted them? Does that make sense? So that's the question I want you to ask. Obviously, in this case, you probably need to create 2 screenshots, one for the big screen and one off your phone. And then, do you guys know how to do that, to create a screenshot of what's on your phone? I think everybody does.
If it's an iPhone home button power, if it's a Android, it's like 15 steps.
It's power down.
Hi, come on in. Okay, there you go. So any questions about that, let me know. But that's what you want to do for that first assignment. Again, these visual scavenger hunts, you're going to have 8 of them. They're all due on Friday at midnight of the second week. Okay. So let me go back to the modules, make sure that that's everything. I also have a discussion question that I'd like you to participate in. So this is about designing for a client and what the comments and questions you should ask. So drop in to the discussion sometime throughout the next 2 weeks. And so the question is, what are the questions and comments? What are your questions and comments about this project? This is an ideal space to share your work in progress outside of the formal. Oh, okay. That's an easy discussion question. Did I post anything else? Let's see, modules. Oh, actually, I posted these 2 other ones. I'm asking you to watch these videos and comment on those 2. That's a lot of discussion questions. I think in the modules going forward, I don't have as many discussion questions. So you have discussion questions, you have visual scavenger hunt, you have some reading, you have a quiz. All of that work needs to be done in those 2 weeks. Project 1, though, the client website, which is our first big project, your first portfolio piece, is not due until September 27th. But when we're talking about work in progress, this is the work that I'm going to want you to be showing, as we come to class. And if you're nervous about your Photoshop skills, you have some time, because Project 1, there are some pieces that you can do ahead of time. Okay, Project 1, client website. So you've been approached to design a website for a local business, nonprofit, or education institution. You must begin this assignment by creating a project proposal that will include the following information. And when I ask you to create a proposal, remember, you're not proposing it to me. I've given the assignment. Your proposal is for the client, right? So when you're writing the proposal, imagine that you're trying to get that job. So you're pitching, there's an ice cream shop down the street, right? And you're in, getting ice cream, whatever, and you start chit-chatting, and they say, Laura, I'd love for you to make us a website. Give us a proposal, right? So imagine this is the scenario. So you're creating this beautiful professional document that is going to make the ice cream shop say, I want to go with Laura, she can do it. She. So you see what I'm saying? Some other things about the proposal, don't write in the first person, okay? Do you know what I mean by that? So when you have this proposal that says, and I want to do this, and oh, Sarah's there. Hi, Sarah. I don't know if Sarah can hear us.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm recording this so you can go back and watch the beginning, too.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry, I had a little mix-up at first.
That's okay. We have another Leiden student that's taking the class.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know who that is, and you were the only one that responded about putting you in the Google Hangout.
Okay. I probably know them. Leiden's, like, our school's not that big, so I can relay the information to them.
Okay, I will tell you in just a second what that name of that person is.
Okay.
Okay, so these are all of the elements. Oh, we were talking about first person and proposals. The way it sounds when you say, and I want to make a website because I feel that I think that your website colors and do you see how personal that sounds?
Sounds like the my way or the highway.
Yeah, it sounds like this is not about you, Zach. This is about the project itself and the solution that you're proposing. So you want to write as objectively as possible. You also want to write in a way that that you want the ice cream shop to pay you a few $1,000s to make this website, right, Laura? So you want your proposal to look awesome. You want it to you want them to be excited about it, right? So think about that in your writing style as well. You want to be positive. You don't want to be like, the current website really sucks because blah, 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 blah. You've started out by insulting them. So you want to maybe point out some of the limitations of the current website and that there's a clear solution that can be fixed. So you want to be positive, you want to be providing a solution, and you don't want to write in first person. Zach.
I just spent my entire summer basically at my internship reviewing website proposals. And let me tell you one thing. There is no first person, and there's a lot of saying your website sucks, but it's all in nice wording. It's all nice thing. The usability of this does not enable the user to blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And it's all about not necessarily beating around the bush and not necessarily being nice about it, but telling the technical ways that things don't work. You can't just flat out say this can't work. You have to say something like this does not comply to this certain framework, or this does not this. You have to be like give specifics. And one thing I had to do was I had to write responses to all these things, and I actually told them to say, listen, I highlighted everything that wasn't fluff, and it's a lot. Most proposals are 80 to 90% fluff.
That's a great experience.
A lot of marketing terms, a lot of saying, and I'm like, and so like one of the things they said was, I'm not going into specifics about the project because it was for a government subcontractor, but one of the things that they were saying, one of the companies that applied for the website were saying like, one of our goals is to make this compliant with the WC3. And so the first thing I wrote as a footnote is like, that should be obvious. That should not be a marketing point. We will be using responsive design to Bootstrap to make it mobile friendly. I said, that should not be a marketing point. That is required basically by, like, anything that is, if you want to do a good proposal and you want to sell it good, look at things that are obviously required and make those part of your standing points because it makes you look like you kind of know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
But on the back end, when you get the people to review it, like when I was reviewing it, like I would cross out so much stuff because I'm like, this is not relevant. This is not relevant. This should be obvious. They don't need to tell us that they're doing this in marketing because it's required.
Mm-hmm.
The WC standard is the organization that sets the standard for web development.
Right. That's a great experience. Those are really good points. It's makes me happy to see that you're seeing something in industry that reflects what we're talking about in class. So that's great. really what I want you to start thinking about is just this first part of the assignment for next week. You have an opportunity to present your work. That could get you one critique done next week, Tuesday. And have some of these things in place. This is just written, and then a flow chart. Again, you can, at least for critique purposes, just draw it out. A pen and paper, that's fine. Use a Sharpie marker. Draw it out if you want to get feedback on it. You want to make it look really good and nice eventually for your final proposal, but if you're looking to get feedback, draw it out first. If you've taken information architecture, you have more experience with this, but it's okay. I can help you get through this. And then wireframes are just rough storyboards. So a set of wireframes, meaning kind of like a diagram of the screen showing what goes where. You're going to learn more about this in the reading and the videos and everything this week, so you know what you're doing. Okay, and then finally, we're going to get to designing the final pretty look and feel of the final website. So you're going to propose 2 different designs. Each design solution that you're proposing is a home page design for the computer screen. Oh, actually, 2 sets. Yes, 2 sets. Each set will include 4 images. So you will create 2 sets of interface designs. The sets should represent 2 very different looks. That's really key too. That's one of the downfalls that I've seen of this project, is that people propose, like, it's the exact same design except one's blue and one's black, you know? You want to show the client 2 really different ideas, so they can be like, ooh, I love the typeface here, but I love how you've positioned things on this one. So that you give them 2 different extremes so that you can kind of take ideas from each one and bring it together, okay? So each set is going to have a home page design for the computer screen, a lower level page design for the computer screen, a home page design, and a lower level page design. And then all of this should be packaged together as a PDF file. A PDF file that has all the same page sizes. I get some PDFs that people turn in, and then some pages are like this, and some are like that, and it's just ridiculous. Again, I am happy to help you on, this is what we're doing. I'm going to help you through this project, so if you're feeling overwhelmed, that's okay. It's going to be fine. Yes?
Can we code this?
Eventually, this is interface design. This is not PHP class, or HTML class, or CSS class. But if you want to code it, you can knock yourself out.
That's what I designed.
Yes, so this may be outside of your comfort zone a little bit, but I'm trying to make you a well-rounded developer with design. I mean, you're going to come into a job and they're going to be like, dude, you kick ass at coding. Like, let's see some of the visual work that you've done. And then to have that on top of being a great coder, that's what this degree is all about, is being able to think about some of the design, you know, to have that kind of experience. You may never do it for the rest of your life. I know, but we're going to be working on that. This is what this class is all about. Any questions about this project? No? What about you guys over there in cyberspace? You have any questions?
Not that I can think of right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
All right. What about in here? I'm gonna. I don't really have that much more to talk about today. Next week, obviously I'll be involved online and everything, and a lot of the resources that I've assigned you are preparing you to do this assignment. So, for example, the reading, the videos I'm asking you to watch, and I'm available too to help you with all of this. So, I guess if you guys don't have any questions, oh, Mindy, yes.
Is it just over the reading or like videos and discussions too?
What about? Wait, sorry, what?
The quiz, is it over just the reading or the videos that are in the discussion as well?
The reading is the quizzes are just over the readings or whatever I've assigned. So if you go look at the assignments and it says reading watch, reading week 1, 2, reading week 3, 4. In some cases they're videos, but I think the first few weeks I'm just asking you to get through the textbook. So the quizzes are about whatever's in readings. The other videos that I might post are just for the discussion purposes or just extra resources. The way that I've done critiques, these are just a one-point assignment. So after we do a critique session, if you've presented, then I go into grades and I mark a little 1 out of 1 for having participated, and then I make a note of the date so that you can always see in the grades area. And by the way, I'm going to pull that up since nobody's grades are in there yet. You guys can see it. So Sarah, do you recognize the other? No, wait.
Is it Zachary?
No, Zach's here.
Hi.
Oh, okay.
Sarah and Brian. Oh, Brian's here. You're signed up for the Leiden section. We'll move you. That's okay. That was it. I thought there was another Leiden student, but you're just in the wrong section. It's easy. We'll sort it out. Okay, Sarah, you're the only Leiden student.
Oh, okay.
That makes it easy. Okay. Any other questions about anything? Yeah.
You mentioned a website that helps with Photoshop.
Oh, yes, I forgot to mention that. Do you guys know about lynda.com? Okay, lynda.com is the most amazing resource in the whole world, and you guys all have free access to it as students. So if you go, and I will post this on the website since you're asking about it right now. If you go to, let's see, I've had trouble getting into connections lately. If I can get in. I get this all the time, and I cleared my browser cache, and I can't get into it. How did I do it the other day? You know what? I'm going to do it over here. Hang on one second. I am going to stop screen sharing, and I'm going to pretend I'm Eric and share Eric's screen. Okay, and I'll go to Webster. Okay, so if you go into connections, oh. Sorry, okay. So if you go into connections, you will see, and you'll have a student one. If you go down here, there's computer-based training resources. I don't know much about this one. Lynda.com is awesome. So this is all the information about how you go in and you create an account and all of that. If you're just curious about what's offered on lynda.com, what you can do is just go to lynda.com. The university did offer this for a long time. Then it got too expensive, so they quit, and everybody threw a fit. This was like 3 years ago. Everybody threw a fit, and so they brought it back. And now every student, every faculty has access to it. The year that they didn't offer it to us, I got my own personal membership, and it's $250 a year. I mean, for the most basic ones. So to have this for free is really cool. And if you're curious about like wireframing, so here are all of the courses. There's a short course here. I mean, there are classes about everything. If you're curious about the Photoshop classes. And I mean, obviously you're not interested in pastel drawing with Photoshop for this particular class, but there are, if you're looking for something to help you on something specific, I can go in and look at some of the classes too and make a recommendation. I mean, I'm here too. I can walk you through, I can build tutorials or sit down with you one-on-one and help you as well. So don't panic. There's tons of information out there to help you with this. The other important news, do you guys know about the new relationship with Adobe that the university has?
No.
The university just signed a deal with Adobe that gives all faculty and all School of Communication students, and you're all schools, right? You're all School of Communication, free access to the Adobe Creative Cloud. So you have a free membership. You have Photoshop for free for the rest of every Creative Cloud software is yours for free.
Every, like, even Premiere.
Yes. So if you're paying for it right now, you can stop paying for it and transition over to your school account. And then when you are a real, graduated, then you transition back to your own personal account. How do you find out about that?
Yeah.
Well, how do you get it? Because I've been to the Adobe website and like they have a student tab and everything for it.
Right. So how do you get it? They just sent out an announcement. Let me see. It might be in my email. I'll post that on the website as well. They may not have announced it yet to all students. They just announced. So if you go to, oh, not Adobe. We want to go to the Webster website. Okay. So what am I looking for? Let's just search for the new Adobe partnership. I don't know if they posted it on the website yet.
It was on the homepage.
It was? Did I miss it?
The second banner. Go down. Middle.
This?
No.
No, yeah, after my image.
That's you? Oh gosh, you're big time, man.
Go to the second bubble thing. And that go up. And then really.
Oh, here, got it.
I take over Adobe, apparently.
Okay, so here you go. When it's fully implemented, they're rolling it out in 3 years, but School of Communication students get it first, or any student who's not School of Communications but is taking the School of Communications class, they get it. So it doesn't tell you how to do it yet.
But we can do it right now.
Mm-hmm. I think.
Adobe Sign, Adobe Marketing.
So by 2019, I know this is all possible either in the next day or two. So I'll send you the information in an announcement through the class, so you should be able to do it, I would assume, sometime this week, maybe next week. So that's all good news. It makes this all much more doable. I mean, it's also really exciting. I don't know all of the details, but you may think about if some of you there's a lot of opportunity out there to become an instructor, maybe at a training center or maybe going on to be a high school or college teacher or something. You might want to get ACE certified, which is an Adobe certified educator. That might be something that could be really cool for you and great for your portfolio to say, you know what, I'm Photoshop certified. I know Photoshop backwards and forwards. That may seem daunting, but with some practice and studying all the materials, you could be an ACE certified instructor. How great would that look on your resume? So that's very exciting, and all of these opportunities are now going to be opened up because of this Adobe partnership. So, it's all new. They just announced it in the last couple of days, so I'll have to get you the information on that. Okay? All right, do you guys have any questions for me? I want to let everybody, so we are 9 minutes before your class starts, Miss Brittany. We are good. Jenna, you okay? Sarah?
Yep.
Okay.
I have a question. Do you know if this extends to the students abroad, this Adobe partnership?
I'm almost positive yes. The answer is yes, because you're School of Communications, right? Or no?
Right. Yeah, I am.
Okay. Do you know Sean Leahy?
Yes.
You might ask him about it, but like I said, I'm going to post all of the information about how to get set up. I need to do it myself. I have old Adobe software that I've been using, so I'll let you know in the next couple of days how to get all set up.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
Because you have so much light behind your face is totally like a shadow, so it's like you're on Dateline and you're hiding your identity right now, Sarah. There you go. Yeah. Yeah, you totally look like, you had some really horrible story you were sharing on Dateline. Okay.
No.
Not that I'm not totally addicted to Dateline or anything.
Love it.
All right, bye guys. I'll see you next Tuesday, okay?
Okay.
All right, I'll send some announcements between now and then. Bye.
All right. Thank you.